Good morning, children.
Good morning, ma'am.
I welcome you all to the new academic year, 2021 to 22. So let's begin the session. And children, we have vast syllabus in class 11. So those who have learned, not those who have learned, you all have learned class 10 biology. Only 5 chapters were there, and last year certain chapters were deleted. Out of 6, 2 chapters were deleted, and we had very less to learn. And even from that 4 chapter, like heredity and evolution, half of the chapter was deleted. So you had very less, and you might be thinking, at least some of you might be thinking, that biology is a bit easy, but I should say that it is not an easy nut to crack. You will have a tough time, but if you are willing, if you have opted biology willingly, not with someone's compulsion, then you will be enjoying. But if it is out of compulsion, or if somebody said you can go for medicine, you go for this, then if without interest, if you have opted, you won't enjoy. That's what I can say. I will try my level best to make our journey as happy and as enjoyable as possible. But still, if you don't cooperate, we'll find it difficult, because you are going to learn so many new terms. If you have seen the textbook, you can see the vast syllabus. We have 22 chapters, and almost all the basic concepts in biology are dealt with in this chapter. But at the same time, class 12, it's very easy when compared to class 12. We have less units, easy chapters, and easy to understand, except 2-3 chapters which comes under biotechnology. Remaining all the chapters are very easy to understand, very simple chapters. But in 11th, you will have a uh, tough time. But if you are ready to cooperate, if you're learning your daily lesson, it won't be difficult. Because at times you will think how to memorize all these difficult terms. So many new terms you're going to learn. Even in 10th standard, when a new term was introduced, you might have thought, what tough terms are here? But here you are going to get plenty of such terms. But not to worry. Make a habit of learning your daily lessons, then things are going to be super easy. So any doubt, feel free to ask. Don't hesitate. So usually I've seen in online sessions, you're a bit hesitant to open up and ask your doubts. You don't have to worry about that. And if you feel, if you're a bit hesitant to ask a doubt, since it is getting recorded, you can ask me, you can message me to post the recording, and you can feel free to ask. But don't keep your doubts. Today's doubts you don't keep aside, or you keep for the next day, or think that when the test paper comes or when exams are there, that time I'll clear it off. So don't do that then and there. If any point you want me to repeat, immediately you can ask me to stop, and then we'll clear it, and then we'll continue. Because the same doubt many of you might be having, but you're a bit hesitant. We have to unmute, and then we have to ask. Others will notice me. So some people, and especially in your growing age, you don't want to be noticed too much. That's what I feel. I don't know present generation how it is like that. During my, all that have changed drastically. During my childhood days, or during my +2 time, it was pre-degree. So we were a bit hesitant. We become so self-conscious, and we don't want to get noticed by the public. But I think the situations have changed. You people are not like that. You people are smarter than the older generation. So prove it, okay? And interact lively in the class. First of all, it is online session. We also can get, teachers also can get bored. But if you participate wholeheartedly, then it will not be monotonous. Otherwise, it will be very boring. Same person keeps on lecturing. I'll try to make the class interesting. I've tried my best to make the PowerPoint, and all those who were there in my classes last year, they might be knowing. So I try to make the PowerPoint colorful and all. At least because of the colors, you just stare for some time to those slides or the points. But make it a habit to learn your daily lesson. Without completing the daily portions, don't sleep. Whether you have the next class, or whether it is a weekend and you don't have class for the next 2 days. So all that you don't have to worry about. Whatever it is, whatever was covered that particular day, complete it. And then you can sleep. You don't have much, no, maximum 4 or 5. How many periods you have? More than 5? I don't think so. And I have told your class teachers to collect the feedback. If you have 3 continuous periods, or if you have more than 5 periods a day. You can report your class teacher. We can as early as possible so that by next
Who's
week.
our class teacher?
Class teacher, you don't know? I will message it, okay? Or your class teacher, when she takes the class, she will introduce herself. I don't remember. I have the name, but I don't remember. I will let you know next class. One more period we have, no? Then I will tell you. So you can speak to her if any difficulty is there. Because the reason is you have different combinations. So like in 10th standard, it is not that easy. The different combinations who all have taken, we may not know. Because those who have opted biology, they have gone for fashion studies, psychology, IP, CS, maths. So please inform your class teacher. And children, coming back to our subject, we have 22 chapters, as I said. But last year, not this year, last year, since Corona was there or because of this COVID-19, many of the topics were deleted. And we'll be following the deleted syllabus presently. And if later we get circular from CBSE that portions are not deleted, then we will see later. Because last time what happened was I completed so many lessons and later only I realized that these chapters are deleted. In 10th standard also we had taken control and coordination, but later we came to know the topic is deleted. The chapter is deleted. So this year, deleted syllabus I will send you. We will be following that in the beginning. And then if any circular comes from CBSE, accordingly we'll make changes. And we'll begin with our first chapter. And in the first chapter also, a particular portion. So many deletions are there from in between the chapter. So that will disturb the continuity of the lesson. So what I thought is the last part, which had been deleted, that topic we'll avoid. That is taxonomical aids. Okay. And children, you all have opted biology. Who can tell me what is meant by biology? Anybody? What is biology? What do you understand by biology? Simple question. And give me a simple answer.
The study of living beings.
Study of living things, study of plants, animals. Study of animals alone, you call it as? Animals alone? Zoology.
Zoology.
Okay, study of plants, botany. And as she said, we are going to learn about living things. So you should know what is meant by a living thing, what is life. Who can tell me what is meant by a living thing? How do you define a living thing? At least some of the features of living things. Some features from lower class you're learning. No, living things can do this. Living things.
Anything that can move,
Living things move. Then
breathe,
living things breathe. Anyone else? Living things move, living things breathe. Then
They reproduce.
they
Reproduce.
they reproduce. Then
they grow,
they grow. You
need
people
energy,
say okay. Anyways, yes. Then living things move, they grow, they reproduce. They will respond to stimuli or they can feel. So many points you have been learning from lower classes. And here in your first chapter, it is explained with a different perspective. And some of the points which we have learned from lower classes as a common property of living things, we are going to see whether it is really a defining property of living organisms or not. So moving on to the slides. So as I told you, any doubt, any particular slide, if you want me to repeat it again, or you want me to pause that slide for some time, you can feel free to tell. You don't have to message, you can speak. Okay, unmute and just speak. Doubts also you can clarify then and there. So expecting the blessings of God, let's start. The living world. We are going to learn about the living world. So in the living world, you should know what is meant by living organisms. So what is life? So let's see some definitions for life and living organisms. First of all, let's see what is life. Life is a unique, complex organization of molecules expressing through chemical reactions. And these chemical reactions, it will lead to growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation, and reproduction. So life means it's a unique, complex Organization of molecules. Molecules are joined together, organized together, and they expresses itself through some chemical reactions. So different chemical reactions are taking place in our body due to the interaction between different molecules. And as a result of these chemical reactions, it will lead to growth. We grow, living things grow, they develop, they respond, they adapt to their surroundings, they reproduce. You need to learn this definition. I'll repeat again. Life is a unique, complex organization of molecules expressing through chemical reactions, which will lead toward growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation, and reproduction. So that's the definition for life. Life is a unique, complex organization of molecules. In class 10, you might have learned that one of the important life processes is the movement of molecules, or one important movement which is taking place in your body is the movement of molecules. Hope you're remembering. Yes? Yes or no? Certain molecules are continuously moving. Why these molecules are continuously moving in our body? For us to grow, for repairing the damaged parts. So these molecules should be moving throughout. Even when you are sleeping, even when you are relaxing, not doing any vigorous activity in your body, all these movement or these molecules will be moving. So life is a unique, complex organization of molecules which will get expressed through chemical reactions. And these chemical reactions will be leading to growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation, and reproduction. Now, moving on to the next slide. No doubt, no children. Proceeding to the next one. What is a living organism? So already we learned, we discussed what is meant by life. Then what is a living organism? A living organism is a self-replicating, evolving, self-regulating, interactive system. So living organism, they are capable of self-replicating. They can replicate on its own. You know that even the cells replicate. The cells divide. The genetic material replicate. You have learned all that. DNA replicate. It's self-replicating, evolving. Evolution is also taking place. And self-regulating. The systems in our body, they are self-regulated. Interactive system. It's an interactive system. A living organism is capable of interaction. It's an interactive system. We respond to stimuli. We can feel, we can sense. We can sense our surroundings and we respond. Only then we can say it's a living thing. If we are not a living thing, non-living things cannot respond to the external stimuli, but we respond. Whatever be the external stimuli, we respond to it. We are capable of interacting with our surroundings. I'll repeat again. A living organism is a self-replicating, evolving, and self-regulating. Once again, self-replicating, evolving, and self-regulating interactive system. And what is this system capable of? Responding to the stimuli, responding to external stimuli. Stimuli is anything that can cause response in us, like temperature, light, touch. All these are examples for stimuli. So in response to stimuli, we respond. Once again, life is a self-replicating, evolving, self-regulating system, self-regulating, interactive system. All these terms are important. You should not miss out. Self-regulating, evolving, self-replicating, interactive system capable of responding to external stimuli. And what did we learn about life? What did we learn about life, children? Life, tell me. About life, what did we learn? Nobody is responding.
Life is a unique, complex organization of molecules
Unique.
through chemical reactions.
Very good. Just a minute. Just 1 minute, children. I'll just show you the previous slide also. Once again, life is a unique, complex organization of molecules expressing through chemical reactions, which will lead to growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation, and reproduction. And then we proceeded to living organism. It's a self-replicating, evolving, self-regulating, interactive system capable of responding to external stimuli. I hope you are thorough with the definitions for life and living organism. You want me to repeat anything? Any points? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No,
Now
ma'am.
moving on to the properties of living things. We have been learning about the different features of living things from lower classes. Maybe in EVS, in LP section, you might have learned from second standard or third standard. From that class, you are learning about the different properties of living things. To begin with, growth. Living things are capable of growing. They're capable of reproducing. Then, metabolism. Who knows what is metabolism? Who can say what is meant by metabolism? Anybody? Metabolism includes,
Catabolism.
if somebody said, yes, Malavika.
Anabolism plus
Correct,
catabolism.
correct. Anabolism and catabolism. Can you tell me what is anabolism and catabolism? How are they different? How are they different? Forgot? Okay. So, metabolism includes anabolism and catabolism. So these are different reactions taking place in your body. Anabolism means building up reactions. In your body, different materials, different substances are being synthesized. So it is these are the reactions which help in synthesizing or building up substances. Whereas another set of reactions are there which will lead to breakdown of molecules. Breakdown or breaking down of molecules. For example, respiration. Glucose is broken down to release energy. Take the case of photosynthesis. Their molecules are being synthesized. Glucose molecules are being synthesized from simple inorganic raw materials. So both reactions, building up, breaking down, reactions are taking place in your body. Building up reactions or synthesizing reactions, we name it as anabolism. Breaking down reactions, you call it as catabolism. Sum total of all the reactions taking place in our body, you can call it as metabolism. Or else anabolism plus catabolism is equal to metabolism. You can define it as the sum total of all the reactions taking place in our body. The sum total of all the reaction, let it be building up or breaking down, whatever it is, all the reactions together, you can call it as metabolism. Now moving on to the next one, cellular organization. We are made up of
Cells.
cells. Cells are grouped into tissues, tissues into organs, organ systems, and which makes up or different organ systems make up an organism. Last one, consciousness. We are conscious about ourselves. We are conscious about our surroundings. Consciousness is also another important property. Growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization, and consciousness are some of the properties of living organisms that we are going to deal with. Properties of living organisms. Growth, then reproduction, growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization, and consciousness. These are the 5 points we are going to learn in detail today. We have 2 periods now. Okay. So let me see how far you have understood. And for the sake of new students, children, this will be our regular practice. After completing a particular topic, you will have to motivate me by answering all those points. Only then I can proceed. Rose, what is life? Define life.
Life is a unique, complex organization of molecules expressing through chemical reaction, which led to growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation, and reproduction.
Okay, now repeat without referring anywhere. You try. Where you get stuck up, you can refer.
Life is a unique molecule organization of responsive.
Read once. I will come back to you. Samia, read. I am going to come back to you. Samia, life is
Life is
a
a unique, complex organization of molecules expressing through
itself
chemical reactions which lead to
growth.
growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation, and reproduction.
Didn't expect, I think. So soon I will ask question. Rose, when you're ready, let me know. Fahis. Fahis, can you repeat? I didn't ask you to read.
Life is a unique, complex organization of molecules which is responsible for the chemical reactions that lead to growth, development, uh, responsiveness, reproduction.
Okay, good. Now next, what is meant by a living organism? Gaia, what is meant by a living organism?
Self-replicating, evolving, and self-regulating interactive system capable of responding to external stimuli.
Okay. Who can repeat it? Atulya?
A self-replicating, evolving, self-regulating interactive system which is capable of reacting to external stimuli.
And then we learned about the 4 properties of living things. Which are those 4 properties? And Mary, what happened to your video? Agna? Meryl? 5 properties, not 4. 5.
Growth, reproduction, cellular organization, consciousness, metabolism.
Unconsciousness. Unconsciousness. And consciousness.
And consciousness.
Okay. So those are the 5 points. So Rose is ready now? Yes. Yes, Rose.
Life is a unique, complex. Life is a unique, complex organization of molecule which is expressing through chemical reactions and which leads to the growth, the responsiveness, reproduction, adaptation.
Okay, good. So we'll be learning about all the different points one by one, the different properties we are going to deal. I think 5 more minutes we have, no? 10:05. 10:10 is the time, no? Yes or no? 10:20.
10.
Now we'll start with the first one, that is growth. It is the increase in the number and mass of cells by cell division. So we grow by means of cell division. Am I right? Your cells are continuously growing, and when the number of cells increase, that will lead to growth. The number and mass of cells will be increased by means of cell division. You all are in the growing stage, and your cells are dividing rapidly to help you to grow. But after a particular age, we cannot grow in height, but still growth will be taking place. So cell division will be taking place in body of human beings in order to repair the damaged parts of our body. So cell division will be taking place continuously, but after a particular age, it is not for growth, but for the repair of damaged cells. So growth, it's an increase in the number and mass of cells by cell division. You can see how the cell division is taking place. A single cell dividing into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8, like that. This keeps on continuing. Cell division. Which are the 2 types of cell divisions that we have learned? Have you learned? I think it is in the new syllabus. Ah, yes. Mitosis and meiosis are the two types of cell division. Mitosis is taking place in your body cells, meiosis in the reproductive cells. Details you will learn this year itself in the chapter cell division. So once again, we are discussing the first property of living things. It's an increase in the number and mass of cells by means of cell division. It is by cell division that the cells will increase in number and lead to growth. Both number and mass will increase and it leads to growth. In plants, growth will continue throughout their lifespan. This you might have learned in class 9. Comparison between the growth taking place in animals and plants. Plants, they are capable of growing till throughout their lifespan. Until they die, they continue to grow. Whereas in animals, growth is only up to a certain age. But cell division will definitely continue because in your body, the cells are getting damaged. It has to be repaired. So for the purpose of that, cell division will be continuing in our body. But after a particular age, animals cannot grow. Clear? So plants, they continue to grow throughout their lifetime, whereas animals will grow only up to a certain age. But even after that particular age, we all continue to grow. Sorry, we all continue to, or in our body, cell division will continue for repairing the damaged tissues or cells in our body. So we learn growth means it is the increase in the number and mass of cells by cell division. And we compared the growth taking place in plants and animals. In plants, growth will continue throughout their lifetime, whereas in animals, it is limited to a particular age. And beyond that age, cell division will continue for repairing the damaged tissues. Basically, growth is the increase in mass and size. We already mentioned about it. If that is the case, non-living things can also grow. Surface accumulation of material like mountains, they can grow in size. So mountains, when by the accumulation of more and more particles, it can increase its height. So growth is not a defining property of living organisms. By the accumulation of more and more particles, the height of the mountains can increase. So that means if you consider it is just the increase in mass and size, even non-living things grow. If that is the perspective we are taking, we can even say that non-living things do increase in their size and mass. So due to that reason, we cannot consider growth as a defining property of living things. And I told you from lower classes, you have been learning certain properties. But in this chapter, they are dealing in a different perspective. So the first point that we discussed was growth. And even though we have learned it is a unique property of, as a unique property of living things, so we can understand that even non-living things grow if it is considered as the increase in mass and size. So they increase in size like a mountain, it is shown. So it will increase in size with the accumulation of more and more particles. Hence, it's not considered as a defining property of living things. The only difference is that in living things, it is not by the accumulation of substances on our body, on the external surface, some particles get accumulated, and it's not that way we grow or we increase in height or we increase in size. So that difference is there. In living things, the growth is from inside, whereas in non-living things, the growth is from outside by the accumulation of particles. So we cannot clearly say that it is a defining property of living things. Now let's see the next one. So the first point, any doubt? We learned that growth is increase in the number and mass of the cells by means of cell division. And I told you there is a difference between the growth taking place in plants and animals. In plants, it will continue throughout their lifespan. But in animals, after a particular age, we stop growing. Beyond that age, cell division takes place only for the purpose of repairing the damaged tissues in our body. But if we consider growth as an increase in the mass and size, we must understand that even living things can grow in that way by the accumulation of more and more particles on its external surface. Whereas in living things, the growth is from inside. The second point, reproduction. That also we have learned. All living things reproduce. It is the production of progeny having features similar to those of 1020. Children, reproduction is the production of progeny having features similar to those of parents, and we'll discuss it next class. It's already time. It's 10:10, not 10:20. Okay, and the timing is still 10:10. Okay, thank you, children. See you next class. So whatever we covered, just
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
see you next
Thank
class.
you, ma'am.